Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on November 3rd, 2024. It's Sunday here on the East Coast, Eastern Kentucky. I'm going to read a testimony story for you guys. But before I do, please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow and get the message out there and kind of fights those algorithms. Now, I know there are some YouTube creators out there that are fortunate enough to have either Zoom meeting, pay extra for the extra time, and interview people in person. I don't always have the time to do that, and there are a lot of people who have contacted me who don't want their faces shown anyway, and because of the time differences, it's better for them to send me several emails with or without photos to share on the channel as their testimony, and that's what I'm doing today. So today we're going to share a testimony from Malvina, originally from Romania. Now, she's no longer in Romania, or she's moved from Romania, and she's now living in the Middle East, but she prefers not to have it mentioned because if you speak about your country or government in some other countries, you can actually be imprisoned. And I'm like, hey, you know what, it might be coming here to the U.S. as well. But anyway, so I'm going to be sharing the testimony from Malvina from Romania. And she says, "Good day, Lorraine. Thank you for exposing my story and also for all of your videos. It helped me a lot. You are a wonderful person." Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I didn't set out to document all this on my YouTube channel years ago. I just wanted everybody to see my chickens and cats and everything. But as the targeting increased, I felt it really important to share what's going on here. I'm not going to keep it a secret anymore. Exposing it, exposing the names, license plates, etc. And that's the advice that a lot of heavily targeted people advise. Do not stay silent, okay? Staying silent will not get you anywhere. So here she goes. She says, "My name is Malvina. I'm from Romania. I have 33 years." So she's 33 years old. "And I'm a TI for 3 years. And I don't have any criminal record." I believe you. Probably 99.9% of us do not or did not when our targeting started. But of course, they like to set us up for all kinds of things. "My story began when I moved to the Middle East, one of the Arab countries, almost 5 years ago. I got married with someone from another country. We changed the house 3 years ago. We moved to a new neighborhood. I always felt watched by everybody at the beginning. I thought it was wrong. I was wrong in the beginning. After a while, 2 cars always followed me everywhere, from a distance. And again, I thought, who can follow me and why? It was really strange. My husband told me that maybe it's someone that likes me and wants to know all about me. And they come to approach me. I had a bad feeling that it is more than this, that I'm in somewhat danger. I never happened this to me to be followed for so long. After a while, things got weird, as if the whole neighborhood was against me and I didn't understand why. We didn't have any friends or anyone that we would upset. Everyone looked at me badly. They turned their heads. They spit aside. Insults behind my back. Crazy situation. After I was followed by more and more cars in traffic, they were putting on their brakes. They looked angry. They always had an angry expression on their face, like really bad looks. They were throwing plastic bottles at the car. It was total surveillance. Wherever I went, it could be a salon or a supermarket or just for a walk, everyone behaved like they were a monster. I was blacklisted by everyone, everywhere. Anywhere I went, I was very stressed and decided to go home for a while in Romania. I was always followed by a couple. Wherever I went, I thought I was stressed after the situation in Oman, and it was all in my head, until they started to do the same things in traffic. One time on a highway, it was a very high speed, and they put the strong brakes on just to cause an accident. They didn't have any cars in front of them. I thought I would lose my life, and after the driver opened the window and showed me his fist and then ran away, I was shocked. I didn't even have time to photograph the license plate number. When I was in an airport waiting for my flight, a tall person dressed in a blue suit approached me to talk, and I refused him. And after 10 minutes, another person, the same blue suit, did the exact same thing, and I rejected him. I suppose that they might have been a honey trap for me. I arrived in Oman, and surprise, that couple and both of the men were stalking me in traffic. My husband told me that it's impossible that they could find me in another country. That's all in my mind. The security from my neighborhood started to harass me also, very bad. One time my husband was angry because they insulted me, and we went to the police to file a complaint. They kept us there for 5 hours. They took our passports and ignored us like it was our fault. They put us in different rooms and brought 4 policemen in to sit next to me to intimidate me and accuse me that it was my fault. Until the end, after a few months, we managed to get our passports back. I started some treatment at the dentist, and in one of the appointments, I saw one of my harassers talking to the doctor. And since then, the doctor's entire attitude has changed. She started to treat me badly. I wanted to stop the dental work, but everything was already paid for, and the treatment turned out to be wrong. I had to go back to my own country and have all the root canal treatments on each tooth done. Again, I don't know what the mess is with these parasites. I told them about me, that everybody turns against me, like I'm a serial killer or something. They steal your life. In a word, they take it all away from you. You will never have peace, whatever you do, wherever you are. One day I started to hear a strange noise in my ears. It was not disturbing. It was only like for an hour every day. I went to the doctor, and he diagnosed me with tinnitus, and he gave me a treatment, but the treatment did not work. In the end, we decided to move to another neighborhood, a more isolated and quiet neighborhood. We thought it would help. Surprise, it was worse. In traffic, I started to have an army and police cars next to me, diplomatic cars, black SUV cars, trucks, motorbikes, the same method of harassment, helicopters above the house, turning around like it was the worst, like I was the worst terrorist ever, gangstalking, very strong. They also use kids and old people like parasites. So low they are. Same police that questioned me at the police station about the case with the security, they stalked me in traffic. Funny, it was all a big setup from the beginning. The government is supposed to defend and protect us, and actually they are unaliving innocent people. What degrading things. Some people will just do anything for money, even if it means participating in someone's unaliving. They lost all of their humanity. I find dead birds in front of my doormat, and one of them, one time, jumped in our garden and hit the window hard with his fist. He stayed until he saw that I was looking. Then he ran away. Still, my silly husband refused to install cameras on the house. Very weird. Well, it could be that somebody approached your husband. Maybe I hate to say it, but maybe your husband was in on it, or he was being mind controlled. They can do that. They can implant or subliminally messages into your spouse or partner or best friend or parent to cause them to ignore you or go against you. With every friend I talked to about this, they didn't believe it. They looked at me strangely. On the one hand, it was understandable. If I wasn't in this situation, I probably would have reacted the same way. But on the other hand, they've known me for so many years. They know that I don't have any mental health issues or problems. And they said that something happens for sure, but maybe I exaggerate. And then in the end, they ended up distancing themselves from me. On a daily basis, I'm escorted by 4 police cars. Funny, us TIs, it's like we're superstars. So ridiculous, so famous. We're always hunted. Yeah, we're celebrities, all right. Oh my goodness. I was blacklisted almost everywhere we went. Restaurants would suddenly close and no more free tables. But the place was empty. At some supermarkets and works don't allow us to go inside. They mention that the manager doesn't want us there for, listen to this, guys, for safety reasons. Again, I went back to my country for 3 weeks. Same like all the world is after me. People were insulting me, pushing my chair, almost hitting me bad with their shoulders. It's like they want to steal your peace, your life, and your soul, to isolate you, to not have any joy. My parents believed me. They see what happened, weird and creepy things. And they were afraid for my life. I thought these people, they want me out of Amen. But apparently they want me out of the earth, pushing me to unalive myself. I started to feel very weak, dizzy, a lot of panic attacks, bad headaches, muscle pain, memory loss, insomnia, digestive problems, heart palpitations, pressure in the eyes. I see fogginess. I didn't know what the cause was. I knew I didn't suffer from any mental illness, and I started to search online. I put all of my symptoms in, and suddenly the word targeted individual comes up. And it all comes apart, and everything made sense. Everything connected in my head, especially when I listened to other interviews. Almost the same story. My husband saw how terrorized I was and called the policeman from the Secret Services and showed him all of my evidence, pictures, videos. He comes from the same BS. So don't be worried. Nothing will happen to me. Same as someone who likes me and wants my attention. But he can't do anything. He had similar cases, and all was good. They just wanted to, quote-unquote, flirt. And my naive husband believed him. And since that moment, he never supported me or helped me. He just told me to get used to the same people like you, that others don't. Same story when we travel. I didn't know my seat number for the plane. My partner booked it all next to me, in front of me, behind me were those idiots. It's like they have people everywhere. They start to harass me, same tactics. They started pushing my chair, showing my cut neck. Oh, you know how people do that gesture with their hands, like they're, gonna cut your neck. Whispering that I have a little bit of time left until my untimely passing. All of our vacations were a nightmare. In the last months, the harassment has become more and more intense, and ears ringing is constant without breaks, very loud. It always makes me impulsive and nervous. It's like I'm not able to do anything. I experience V2K. I don't hear voices, only bullets and some clapping sound. Everything is more and more intense, as if they want to get rid of me as soon as possible. I have muscle spasms, tingling. I started having strange dreams about how loved ones who died called me to come to them, and how I pass away in different ways. But the strangest thing is when I dreamed of some of the bullies telling me to unalive myself, or they will do it, and the next day in traffic, I'll see one of them dressed the same as in my dream. pointing the knife towards their neck with his finger on me. Total madness. They can send you also dreams, like dream manipulation. Also, before going to bed, I feel my legs burning and my forehead, my heart is beating very hard as if I'm going to have a heart attack. My tension increases. My hands and legs move involuntarily. What sociopaths who would torture a person like this? They send various strange people to the gym to be friendly with my husband. When he turns his head, the parasite shows me the same sign with a throat cut. And then, after that, he puts on this warm, fake smile. It's like I'm living in a stupid movie. My naive partner pretends that I don't see anything, or that he's too silly and says that I'm being paranoid. He doesn't think that anyone put me on some watch list. He said it only exists for really important people, but not simple ones like me. Sometimes when I see him so indifferent, I think that he's part of it too, or they mind control him to split us apart. It's very frustrating that my husband does not believe me and is not near me. He's not close to me. I do not know what will happen in the future between us. They always induce me with negative thoughts to unalive myself, as if an inner voice is telling me, kill yourself now, it doesn't stop. The ear ringing is worse, and each year there's a loud and different noise, real torture. Even music doesn't help me. I went to the ear doctor after the unbearable ringing, and I was diagnosed with RO otosclerosis. He said that it is genetic and gave me a treatment. He told me that, ironically, that it will get worse and I will lose my hearing, and to not be depressed, it will increase. The doctor was acting very strangely. Now, I try to ignore those bastards as much as I can. I don't want to let them do what they want with my life. I laugh at them. No more fear. They're ridiculous. I don't let them isolate me at home or to control me. I try not to argue with those who accidentally hit me. I don't let them bother me anymore. We need to be very careful and unpredictable in our actions. They use our eyes as a camera against us. I go to the gym every 2 days. I take certain supplements and have energy. Especially garlic helps a lot, at least in my case. I'm very cautious in traffic now. At every incident, I take pictures and I film everything. I only go to locations where there are people, and I avoid isolated places. Every day I educate myself, especially I watch all the interviews presented by other TIs. I didn't lose faith in God. Even if it seems like a big organization all over the world, unstoppable with too many resources, money, and power, maybe one day God will help all of us. I learned to deal with it by myself. No crazy behavior, no cop calling. I accept that it's bigger than me, this satanic organization, quote unquote. And I take it as a challenge to not defeat me. It's awful to live with the thought that tomorrow could be the last day of life, considering that the death threats, we must never give up or commit the S word. I am grateful to you for everything. Thank you so much. And this is from Malvina, and originally from Romania. Well, thank you so much, Malvina, for sharing your story. It's very important. You're a young woman. I'm actually twice your age. You're 33. I'm 66. And I feel so deeply for all the young people involved in this program. However, I do believe that you youngsters will at some point see this program end. I've lived, most of my life without being targeted, at least to the best of my ability. I lived a wonderful life. Of course, there, pits and turns and stuff. I was married, had daughter, very, they've had a very wonderful, successful life. They're always envious and jealous people, but I never experienced what you're describing and what I've described in other targeted people until I was in my 50s. Yeah, maybe my late 40s, my early 50s. It would have been very difficult in my 30s. I was building a career. Although, who knows? Maybe it was happening in my 30s and I was just painfully unaware. But thank you so much. So I do believe that that in marriages, it's really important for... It's hard. It's very hard. Like, I see other targeted people where both people are targeted and they're able to share their targeting experience with each other and believe each other. Now, in your instance, it could be that you were the targeted person, your husband was not. And then because of everything that was happening to you, they got to him in some way. It could be unconsciously. It could be little snide remarks. And, it sounds like your parents are on your side and believe you. And that is a blessing. You're truly blessed. So I'm so glad to hear, though, that at 33 years old, that you have this awareness of what is happening to you and that you've come to a place to accept them, call them out on it, be at somewhat peace. You're able to get to the gym a couple of days a week. You're able to eat healthfully, eating garlic and stuff. And I'll just recommend that eating cilantro and chlorella is very helpful also in detoxing. It's very important to detox the body because they're throwing all this crazy stuff at us. And probably your husband too. And there are targeted people whose relationships have ended because of this, but that is their goal. Their goal is to isolate the victim. So, and I'm not in your predicament. I'm no longer married. I'm not in a relationship. But I would advise anyone, even in these times, even if things are not so wonderful, to just stay. Stay in your relationship if possible. Try to make it the best possible, because if you separate, they will isolate you, and they're very bad to single women living alone. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you alone. So, just my advice, if at all possible, just try to make the best of things. You don't have to talk about everything that's happening to you all the time, with your husband. I mean, he's at a certain place, and perhaps if you don't discuss it for a while, maybe things will go back to normal again. And just ignore those people that approach him, right? But keep in the back of your mind that, they may be co-opting him in some way. And just be aware of that. But it's so good to hear that your family knows what's happening, that they believe you, they know that you're not mentally ill. Stay away from the cops. I mean, the coincidences that you shared here are just remarkable. The way you've documented this is so important. Other people listening to this, I'm sure, will have that aha moment. And I just want to say, like you said, that I've helped you and I've helped a lot of people. Well, you right now, in sharing this testimony, you are going to help many, many people with this, particularly because you're in another country, you've moved around, that you're married, you've shared your experience of what happens as a married person, and your testimony is invaluable. And I look forward to, if you have any updates for me in the future, I'm happy to do a part 2 for you. But anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, sharing a testimony story from Malvina from Romania. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there.